Yesterday was egregious call buying across the market, heavily supported by calls, and I'm curious to see if they're going to roll off those premiums today, despite all that move. VIX is back down into the 17, crushing the VIX over and over and over again. We have liquidity up to 54.75, 54.90, and still we have 53.50 and on down to 52.50 and 52.25. So still have liquidity building a little bit lower here. Crazy stuff. Alrighty. Do I have the YouTube set up? Yep, mic is on. Music is off. Sweet. Good to go. So ES has been here since about 2:45 yesterday. What is that? I don't need that. Delete. 54.68. Still not a lot of movement. Looking across the market, we do have mostly green. We have XLC as red, UPV all red, and the top tech stocks are mostly green as well. Yesterday saw Nasdaq up nearly 500 points. ES is up almost 100 themselves. What's up here? Good morning. Nasdaq has already put on about a 150 point drop and then back up. Crazy stuff. Yesterday we saw a whole bunch of buying of 5400 calls and selling of the 5430 calls, which is why we kind of pinned between that range for most of the evening, or most of the afternoon yesterday, and then finally breaching above. I'll be looking for the similar type action today, not to mention a break above this little 5470 on ES and under 5460. We're kind of back and forth in this little 10-point range here. Nasdaq is top wicked again after failing just a breach above, seeing what we can do here to put on some moves. Small top wick. Top wick, Nvidia is rounding over. Nasdaq is rounding over. A little bit of red. A little bit of pressure. Top wick. If this fails back over again, any downside target, I'll be gunning for the imbalance for CPI 54.48 on ES and Nasdaq down into just at the 19,000 mark. I think they bounced pretty close to it, if not on it. They got to 19,000 on the tick, which is a pretty big move there. You and me both, Dan. You and me both. A little bit of red here, 54.63, 54.70. Nvidia, Nasdaq all getting crushed here. Rounding back over. Oil is red as well after a little bit of green pop. Precious metals are getting roasted today too. Yields are back to green. The 2-year yields mainly are green, with bonds still going up here. So again, the short-dated treasury products are kind of doing a little bit differently than the long-dated treasury products. 54.63. What's up, Clown Trader? Oil has news today. Yep, today's Wednesday. Today's also Bookmap. Large red candles coming off here. Nvidia's coming off. Apple, large green candle. Nvidia, large red candle. Let me hit refresh on the data. ES 54.61 dropping all the way back over. Still no updated on the data just yet. Large reds coming on here. The red across the board. Nasdaq, Nvidia, all coming down. ES 54.57, 13-point down. Nasdaq just pumped above, hit the supply, and rolled back over. Excellent. Let me see here on Nasdaq Bookmap. We have liquidity down to 19,000 again, which also is the imbalance. Yeah. Yesterday, and obviously the mornings have been a little bit whipsaw in Wiki. So you want to be patient as well. I think that's been treating us very well. Yesterday, the calls exploded up into the 54.30 area, just driven by patience. So don't get caught up in the morning back and forth, the morning shakeout. The only time you want to play the first 30 minutes is when you have reason to believe that we're going to blast or sell off, or one just completely just take out one side of the tape and keep going, or at least enough to get a big move. And so far, it's just we're not getting that in the past couple of days. So hang out on the 15, the 5, see what we can get going here. Apple's going straight up again. B recovery. Nvidia is starting to bounce. So same old stuff here on Apple. No surprise there. Incredible call buying yesterday across the market. I noticed you wait until the first hour to pass until getting serious. That's correct. Yeah, after the first 30 minutes, I start really tuning up, and then within the first hour, between the 30 minutes and the hour, is when I usually start putting on my first position. Simply because that's when usually the opening shakeout is complete, and now we can kind of figure out exactly what the market intends to do. Sometimes I'll take a position in the first half hour. Normally, it's isolated to my prop trades, and but every now and then I will put on an IBKR trade option in that time frame. It all depends on what I'm kind of seeing here. I'm watching Nvidia closely along with Microsoft. And if we can get any downside top wick here, I'll be looking for the 19,000 retest. We have another 5-minute doji print here, 15-minute engulfing red so far. And CPIs are notorious for reversal days, so keep an eye out. Remaining on deck here, we have oil at 10:30, and that is it. Nothing else today. No more news. Tomorrow we have initial jobless claims, core retail sales. We have Fed and Philadelphia employment, business inventories, retail inventories, and then a couple of FOMC speeches. Nope, nothing today, except for oil at 10:30. So if you're a CL trader, keep an eye there. Big companies are not doing enough to lower prices. It's not the way it works. 19,200, 19,000, up and down. Nvidia's coming off. We have a nice little top wick there on Nvidia, holding. Apple's completely recouped the morning red candle. Large green engulfing here on NASDAQ coming back up. So far, no follow through on anything. Just wiki. CVD is pretty much dead flat here. So we don't have any true follow through across the board on either tape. And I'm just watching this 5-minute doji print here on NASDAQ and trying to figure out what they intend to do with this price action. We have a 19,000 liquidity. We have 19,200 and no volume follow through anywhere on the book. Apple's about to take out new high of the day. Still, Apple is the plunge protection team right here. Every single day, they are absolutely rallying Apple. And it's going to be difficult to drop NASDAQ or ES for that matter with Apple doing this every single morning. So 19,126 right here. We're kind of defending that little micro pivot from about 850. They almost got a little carried away there at the downside and then bottom wicked it. Great day for patience so far. Positioning into a swing trade, hopefully, is my intent today. Another little red attempt by NASDAQ, still holding up. ES is 54.63. We'll see what we can do. CVD is barely creeping red here on NASDAQ. Nvidia is still top wicking, while Microsoft and Apple go higher. Let's hit refresh on this baby. ES is starting to trickle down here. I've got put buying, call selling on the market net flow. I've got GEX all over the place with nothing really sticking out. Large red engulfing candle here. Nice little top wick red candle filling back lower. Beautiful. Buyback window closes September 6th. Apple won't tank until then. Do we have data today? Remember, we have Jackson Hole next week too. She's got to go. Nvidia right now is leading the pack with put buying, aggressive put buying across the board, and not a lot of call buying across the market today. So it does appear that we are going to trickle at least a little bit lower here for now. Nvidia is going lower. Nvidia is going lower. $19,000. Large red engulfing candle coming off. ES is coming off here. IV is still about 31% and dropping lower here. New low of the day, technically, on NASDAQ. New high of the day for Apple before a top wick. Russell's getting crushed. That's a great play right there. Still coming lower here. XLF is not loading up. So I'm not seeing a lot of buying here other than our big friend Apple here, and I'm seeing market-wide put buying, call selling for the moment. So a little bit opposite of what we saw yesterday morning. Still, get your small licks in where you can and just be patient for a bigger move here. Nice red candles coming all the way down here for a 19,000 retest. Nvidia is getting pummeled right now into 1907. Nvidia large red, and we have a test here at 059 and down into the 19,000. One more push lower, we will test that 19,000 range. Bottom wick. See what they can do. Wiki stuff here. Wiki stuff. 1908. The little micro pivot there is right here at 058, almost about where we wicked. Got a little bit more, but once that gives out, I would expect a 19,000. Look at Nvidia. Nvidia's getting crushed. Still rolling over here. Heavily led by put buying on Nvidia, so keep an eye on Nvidia. Heavy put buying on that tape. If Apple rolls over and joins Microsoft and Nvidia, then I would expect at least a clearing of 19,000. A little bit more red here, 1907 on this move. Pushing large red engulfing candles. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. Coming off here, once we took out 085, now we're coming on down, still red engulfing. I don't see a lot of buying here. The only thing I'm seeing is Apple. So pretty dang red market wide here at the moment. And I would expect a 19,000 touch on NASDAQ. Still gone. Red engulfings. Large red engulfings. What's up, Dan? For the swing trader, you think a long or short? I'm thinking short. Even if only a week or two hold, if not, or just a couple of days hold, I think that it's a good place to start putting that stuff on here. Conditions have changed. 54, 52 here. ES NASDAQ's coming off. Took out that micro pivot. Nvidia still getting crushed by put buying until otherwise noted. Call selling, which is what we're seeing yesterday. That's what we talked about earlier today in pre-market. Was that yesterday was incredibly strong on the call market to prepare for CPI, and now they have to unroll some of those calls, which is hence why I was looking for a little bit of red. And here it is. I'm seeing a lot of call selling. Not necessarily put buying, although we do have put buying. I think that a lot of those calls are being taken profit, roll those calls off. And what we're seeing here. Large red on Nvidia, still getting crushed. And down we go. Down we freaking go. I'm still looking for upside. Is that wrong? Well, not necessarily. I mean, the daily chart we finally broke out. From a VPA perspective, we don't have a lot to say that we're entering, that we're no longer exhausted. We had a lot of buyer's exhaustion, a whole bunch of top wicks on the 4-hour chart, and then they did that thing where they top wick, and then they accumulated and went higher. So it's not to say that you want to take, like, for example, I'm not looking for a October very far outside the money put. I'm looking for just a shorter term put to go into next week, simply because of rejecting off of 54.54 and a little bit of undoing of what we saw. So, no, we don't have a lot of technical VPA here to tell us that we're getting ready to top wick and roll over. So you have to adjust your parameters in the strikes and the expirations that you choose. Now, do I want to chase long into a support resistance flip? Not necessarily either, because the time where they reject it is when they catch everybody long. So if I am going to long this, if I wanted to put on a swing call, for example, I need a little bit of red to retest the breakout area of 5,400 or so and then go long. Because when you start chasing breakouts is when you get clapped. 15 shot, clap to your nah. Let's see, what is that kit? NVIDIA had an incredible run last days of being 30% from last week's low. It also looked like a run of resistance. There you go. That's a support resistance flip right there. Yeah. So it's retesting the support, which is going to be a likely rejection point. So great. Nicely done. I'm long gold again, 24.95 because of the heavy volume when we swept the lows and had high volume. Same target test highs. Beautiful. I like it. Still put buying call selling today. SPX, we have 54.50 and not too much else flow that's confident at the moment. Heavy put buying on NVIDIA, put buying on Google, and so far options data overall is pretty flat. Could you repeat why you had a bearish bias at open? You had mentioned needing to roll the calls off. Yeah, so yesterday we saw an aggressive buy up on short-dated calls to prepare for CPI. And with my opinion that the CPI is no longer going to be an effective volatility trade unless they post something, an outlier data, which is possible. As long as it comes within forecast a little bit plus or minus, the market's not going to have a big 100-point move anymore. I think that trade for the CPI is done. So I think that a lot of that call buying was a rally up into CPI and then roll off those calls today, which is why we're looking for a little red. In addition to that, we've had an enormous buy up yesterday with no sell-off whatsoever. So just to roll off a little bit, take a little profit. Plus, in addition, a little bit longer term, not long term necessarily, but a little bit longer term into next week, I think they are rolling the VIX back off so they could juice it again. Now, going back to what Kennedy asked, is that I don't think any downside here is supported by VPA. Right now, VPA is holding very strong. We broke out, aside from a little bit of red into a retest. That's what I'd be looking for. Top wick again. Rolling this thing back over. Nice top wick. NVIDIA still getting crushed. Hammer that candle back over on NASDAQ. $19.06. So they tried to pop it up to 100, but immediately crushed it. 50, 60 points here. And if this candle fails, we'll get our 19,000 test. Small iceberg here at 5.5. After the CVD is still growing more and more red here. Algorithm shift here at the 5-minute as well. NVIDIA is still going red. CVD is still diminishing into the 500 area. All we need is Apple to roll over, and we should get our 19,000 test. Let's see. Bonds are heading higher here too into 97.98. VIX is still holding 1937, or 1737. I'm sorry. So still no movement there. If VIX climbs under 1730 and begins to roll, we'll play that. But right now, Apple's rolling off, NVIDIA is still rolling off, Microsoft is now rolling off, and we have multiple top wicks in the 5-minute here with increasingly negative CVD. So once we can get that lower, we'll go for the 19,000 test. 19,000 test. Little 'Little, 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 ' 063, 062. Red candles. Large red engulfing top wick, drop back over. With NVIDIA, still rolling over. So we're just waiting for that 19,000 test if we can get it. Right now it's very wicky. We have 9 minutes on the top of the hour. We survived the 5-minute algo shift there. The stronger one will come at the top of the hour, though. Am I in a trade yet? Yeah, I'm short NASDAQ at the moment. In my props, not IBKR. Been playing with the trading off the day chart for ES. Looks more like it makes sense in the environment. Taking a macro short. Looking for a 5200 retest there. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So what would be the test on ES? ES right now, I'm looking for the first touch of overnight low. We're still forming the morning range here, which 38 minutes left. The overnight low would be great. We have a double top wick on the 15 and the 30 up in the 5470 area. But as long as NVIDIA is still rolling off, now Microsoft is rolling off hard. Russell, we have bonds going up. VIX is still holding 1740. So as long as that continues, I'm still comfortable playing this thesis, not to mention put buying on the market. So we have correlated action here on the option chain and the market. It's not strong bearish, but it's definitely biased to bearish at the moment until at least the overnight low. That's what I'm looking for, 19,000 on NASDAQ and maybe 5448 on ES. So with NVIDIA rolling off and all that kind of stuff, I would just roll stops down and just kind of take your hands off and just take a breather until we get to the first 30, 45 minutes of the day, and we'll know exactly what the intentions are. I'm not seeing extreme bearish here. It's not like I'm sitting here pounding the table, yelling short. I'm just saying right now, currently, it does look like we're in for a little bit of pullback to 19,000 here, at least until an aggressive bounce. I'm just waiting to see signs that they're going to stop rolling off these calls for yesterday. Oh my gosh. Major cyber attack against the Bank of Iran. And Iran. Some more to sing on 19,000. Yeah. Now the VIX is rolled over below into a bottom lower area. What's up? Oh, Tug's retired. What's up, Tug? That's beautiful, man. Very cool. That's a beautiful shadow box. I like it. I like it. Congratulations. More red engulfing coming off here. Still going down, 19,025. NVIDIA is still rolling off. Apple is now joining the fun, and here comes the 19,000 retest. Hopefully. A little bit of red. ES has got to get through the 54.52 down into the 54.48, but slowly trickling. A little bit of red coming off. I have a bit of a tinfoil hat theory this week in my own personal life. What is this? Okay. And Yeah. So what? Last weekend they reported that there was heavy smoke coming in from the western fires, like Canada and the west. So it was incredibly smoky and hazy in my neck of the woods. Like you couldn't even see anything. It looked odd. And now all the trees are covered with sticky goo. All the trees. So if you look on the gravel in my driveway at the farm underneath all the trees, the gravel underneath the trees are all darker than the gravel not under the trees because whatever's falling off the trees is sticking to the gravel. On the same thing on the road, driving down the road, all the spots underneath the trees are darker, like it's covered with something, and my truck is covered with sticky goo. I'm like, what is the stickiness? Did someone throw like sugar water all over my truck or something? So then I go touch the leaves of the trees, and it's literally like sticky. Like all the trees are, it's covered with dried sugar water. It's crazy. And first I thought maybe it was like a sugar maple or something like that was kind of just leaking some syrup, but all the trees are covered with sticky goo. I'm like, man, they tried. And then just so happens the same day, the day after, I started getting this chest cold that y'all hear, my dad noises. So I think they poisoned us. They're chemtrails. They got me. Bunch of jabronis. Oh my gosh. I knew that was coming. But I have to delete that. Sounds like a man-made disruption of crops. Healthy land people. Yep. 54.52 still coming off NASDAQ is 1902. Looking for the 19,000 retouch. Nothing's changed. Same thing here in East Tennessee. Yeah, the sticky trees. Like, I have no idea what it is. I've never seen it. And I'll show you. I'll have to post a video of it. Like, literally, there's like a syrupy goo on all the tree leaves. Not even joking. Anyway, 19.025 here, still rolling off here. Still no reason to get out of short anything here. They haven't had any whipsaw to stop out. In my opinion, NASDAQ shorts, I would set a stop above 19.060 on ES. I would set above 54.57, but I do expect a 19,000 touch momentarily here, just rounding over. Nice and easy. That's weird. Canada should be east of Alaska. I tell you, man, those winds go backwards. Couldn't help but do one. In Minnesota, we don't have that. We are in the jet stream for Canadian fires. Hazy skies, but nothing on our trees. Yeah, it's crazy. Red candles coming off. Here we go. Here comes the 19,000 touch. Go to college tomorrow. Nice, Roberto. Where are you going? It's a great time in life, man. XLF has got some red too, yeah. Russell's getting smoked. Roll the Russell, baby. Roll the Russell. I agree with your thesis. Just curious what you're wanting to see before getting into short position for next week. Honestly, admittedly, this is a bit of a front run for position. It's more of a spidey sense position on some profit taking back down into next week's volatility because I am expecting another pop in the VIX. And then I'll add to more confidence, more position sizing if I actually get the VPA confirmation. 19.015 coming down to 19,000. I've just about reached the point on this short that I'm very happy with it, regardless if it touched 19,000. So with that, I'll start rolling down my stop loss, or my profit stop, I should say, to lock in profit and kind of Monos Erebus here on any moves. But I'm pretty happy with that. Any fast order execution platform, my orders are lagging with Trit, Thinkorswim, and switching to Lightspeed. I would recommend IBKR. It's unmatched with order execution. Could be a fuel source. That happened way back in the 90s. Clear jelly blobs on a town, poisoned a bunch of people. You should see if that sticky stuff seems flammable or doesn't easily extinguish. I'll try it. I'll try to light it. See what happens. TOS has gone downhill fast since Schwab took over. Best years of my life from college were getting a wife and kid. Oh yeah. The people you meet, it's fantastic. You're exposed to people you otherwise normally wouldn't be exposed to. Just avoid the mind virus. It's napalm, yeah. Full transparency, fearing with a symbol, bro. Scalping the last month has retraced a large majority of my 2024 gains since January. I've done 6 swing trades since November. 5 out of 6 were profitable due to positioning being way larger due to longer-term confidence in DTE. Those 5 trades are my only reason. Main trading account isn't dead, and had I just never scalped, I'd be the most green I'd ever been in a single year. There you go. I love it. I love it. The amount of money you make on swings is unmatched. You cannot scalp your way to match your swing trades. Not even close. You did. You did. Use gloves, collect some samples. I like it. No one's, I Googled it, there's no one reporting it. All that stuff. How I turned $1,000 into $1 million. Oh, man. It's hard for me to watch that stuff. Although technically I did that over the course of 13 years. But not without adding a lot more, so technically I didn't. So when you swing trade, what strikes price out of the money do I choose? Normally I go at the money with zeros. Well, I mean, you can't swing trade with zeros, right? So when I'm swing trading, I go by a thesis of aggressive yet realistic. So I pick a target where I think the S&P can go to, and I choose a strike that's closer than that goal. And I do the same thing with time. You know, I figure out how long it's going to take to get there, how I think it's going to get there, and I choose an expiration that's beyond that. So I build myself in a little risk management there. So for this move that I took if I were to take a put, I would not choose a strike that's nearly as aggressive as I took on July 10th. How I turned $1,000 into $10. Are you seeing an iceberg? Not on NASDAQ. On ES, we have a couple of small icebergs up to 54.70. Nvidia is going back up. Apple's kind of creeping back up here. Looking at the market, we have call selling, and we are about to step into put selling territory. So the put buying has drastically slowed down. We now have 5450 calls being purchased on the SPX, and a 5450 GEX correlates that. So just watch the 19,000 touch here, and be careful for shorting the hole. Like I said, I'm not beating the desk saying extreme bearishness here. I'm just playing down to a 19,000 touch. I have a problem. What's up, Juicebox? Be careful with your work-life balance, money and everything. Yeah, I'm actually about to record a podcast about that very thing, about managing the addiction to trading and how it'll destroy you. It's actually one of the worst addictions you could have because it will ruin your life. What's up, Ruben? Bienvenidos. How you doing? New low of the day for ES there. Nope. I'm sorry. Yep. No, that is correct. Yeah. We have 23 minutes till we put in another touch here. We have another engulfing red candle. That should get us to 19,000. All the way down, baby. All the way down. Yeah, especially, being a part of a trading Discord, I like to think that we're a little bit different than other people. I don't know because I'm not in any other trading Discords. But you have to realize that the crap people post online, most of it's hogwash. All you're seeing is people's wins. You're not seeing people's losses. All you're seeing is the good stuff, not the bad stuff. You're not seeing who's profitable, who's not profitable overall. It's all hogwash to make themselves look good. So anytime you're feeling FOMO about other people's trades, just realize that it's all hogwash. It's all of it. So just make sure that you are tamping down your expectations and being realistic with your swing trades. That's it. That's it. Not to mention their ability to edit and delete posts. Yeah, I mean, that's all it is. That's why call-out servers don't work. That's why forecasts and guessing and all that stuff should be taken with a grain of salt because it could change on a whim and you have to adjust. It's not about being right. It's how you can execute when it matters. I need that podcast soon or a one-on-one. I seriously think I have addiction that's causing issues in my life. Well, you could always shoot me a DM too. But yeah, I'll be doing that podcast soon. Might you show where you entered? I got a late entry and I got stopped out because of the dang wicks. You sure know your poop. I do, yeah. Yeah, so when we broke down below the prior wick there at 19,105 is when I elected to go short. And then after that, it's just holding down. Remind you, it's just on a prop firm. I haven't touched the trade on IBKR yet. So take that. My confidence, like I said, wasn't extreme bearishness here. But it will be shortly if that continues. And then after that, it's just rolling down your stops for a thesis. My overall thesis was 19,000. And everything right now points to that aspect. Now, beyond 19,000, I don't know. But that was my first goal. People on Reddit day trading were raving about how great Ross from Warrior Trading is and how the best trader around. Can't believe anything. I've had several max loss days in the last week. If only lessons past hurts become more permanent. Yep. You're welcome, Ruben. Yeah. Ruined my life for sure. I only enjoy trading now. Yeah. You're new here. Very cool. Where'd you come from, Ruben? How'd you find us? YouTube suggestions? Still hold 19,023. I'm gunning for 19,000 on NASDAQ. And hopefully today looking to position into some swing puts. Probably 2-week dated if I had to guess. And there is another red engulfing. And almost there. Don't tease me, bro. Board meeting. Boom. Yahtzee. Now rolling the stops down and hands off. Yahtzee. All right, what's next? We still have put buying, call selling. XPX GEX is 53.90, 54.50 balanced. We have major put buying on NVIDIA. And who is this? I have to answer this call real quick. I'll be right back. am back. All right, still coming off 19.7. I had my stop roll down to 19.010. I will, if this 5-minute candle here closes, because we have an algorithm shift here in less than 60 seconds. So if that thing still holds without a bottom wick, I will roll it down to probably 990, 985, somewhere in that ballpark. But it all depends on how this thing shifts here. We do have a little bit of volume coming in. Apple is still holding on to green, but Microsoft and Nvidia are not. We still have put buying, so overall the bears are still in control here. Up bears. And we do have the trend line test at about 18,940. So somewhere in that 940, 930 will probably be a base for NASDAQ now that we've cleared 19,000. But that's what I'll be gunning for. Traders Evolved is losing live on YouTube, then he's deleting his videos. Only keeps the winning days. Yeah. I don't want to see people sign up for that stuff, though. Like, people aren't dumb. I just don't get it. But, I don't know. I know you don't trade weekly SPY options any longer, but would you still recommend that style of trading to smaller accounts? Yes, I would. I absolutely would, yes. People are hella dumb. Man, I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe naive was a better word. $200 a month. I mean, we're all dumb. Just as a collective group, we're smart. I don't know. I kind of think it's the opposite. I think we're all smart, but as a collective group, we're dumb because people are naturally not leaders, and they just cling to whatever the masses goes with because they don't want to go against the grain. They don't want to be the opposing voice. That's why you have that, sheep mentality running you off a cliff because nobody wants to speak up. I don't know. I guess there's an argument for both. So I'm still holding 19.010 stop. If I can get below the current low here of 19.68, I will roll down my stop and lock in profits lower. Still going down. Way down. Pretty good play so far. Not a lot of stop out action. The candles have been nice and engulfing. We haven't reversed this big time to get you out of a trade. So far, things are working pretty well. Below 19 or 18,960. If we can get below that candle is when I will be my trigger to lower my stop. I took the short but got scared and moved my stop to 5. I need to change my mentality and have an acceptable level of loss. Well, every single trade I take, you need to be prepared for the possibility and probability that you're going to lose. And in order to do that and survive, you have to obviously position yourself properly. Because if you're slinging 10 NASDAQs, you are not going to be able to think clearly, and you're going to take whatever profit the market can give you and or blow your account up. So, but, the whole concept behind swing trading is that you do less. The less you do in trading, the more money you're going to make. The whole point of the market is to shake the tree out of people who have weak hands. I don't know what the Mexican word is or the Spanish word is for weak, but whatever, I would use it for weak hands. Manos, someone hit me up. Weak, flojas. There you go. Flojas or manos. Limp wristing the market. There you go. I should have learned more Spanish from my grandmother. Coming back up to 19,000. Is this down day due to CPI? Well, it depends on what you mean. Manos de papel. There you go. CPI didn't post anything we didn't already know, but all they're doing here is simply selling calls or rolling off the calls from yesterday. When you close calls, down we go. We could turn north and head north. We could turn and head north quick. We could. You know, again, I don't see anything preposterously bearish here. All I see is just a little bit of call selling to reduce us down. So I'm trying to really control the emphasis on downside because we don't have the major downside thesis yet. It's just a little bit of dropping, a little bit of selling. All right, yeah, you can leave a voicemail. I'm done. So 19,000, back up, retest. NASDAQ, 19,000. Yeah, ES has reclaimed their prior lows there, so they're a touch better. NASDAQ's down over half percent. X's are about mix and match, red, green. Still top wicking, retesting and rejecting 19,000. Let's see here. Am I swinging puts? I will be, not yet though. Top wicks. Let's see, NASDAQ at the money puts. Quick move down and back up. Still holding 19,000. We have still put buying, call, selling, accelerating. We have 53.90 GEX, which is 30 points down, 30 to 40 points down here. And we still have failure on the NASDAQ to hold. Have you been writing a lot of premium lately? I have not. I don't write premium when things have been this volatile. It uses up too much of my brain bites to defend positions when it's that volatile. What time is it? 7 minutes till 10:30. We do have oil news coming up in 7 minutes if you're a CL trader. Oil rejected some pretty heavy macros there in the morning, and now it's coming on down to base in the overnight low. So keep an eye out. Let's go to the 240. I do have bookmap here in 7 minutes, so I'll have to switch over here in a couple of in about 5. I'll go ahead and switch over. But any downside on oil, I'll look for about 74.55 if that breaks lower over the next coming days. Thanks for doing what you do. It's comforting knowing people still exist. Oh, thanks, Ruben. Appreciate it. I appreciate you joining, and hopefully you can be a part of the streams for a while. I have a friend hanging out and listening, and when you said swinging puts, they asked why. What did the puts ever do to him? It was a good laugh and explained to him. Nice. They took my lunch money. With all the calls between 40 and 70 on SPX, it would be surprising if there wasn't a move up at some point for those to be cashed in. Let's see. I am seeing right now 54.50 calls being purchased. So nothing else, no other strike is changing right now. That's the interest I'm seeing on the SPX, the 54.50s. We have 34 days until we cut rates. Are y'all ready? Are y'all ready? Thirty-year mortgage rates are already back under 6% for the first time in a while. Anybody getting a mortgage? I took my first haul yesterday out of the garden of potatoes. I got 60 pounds of potatoes only on like 15 plants. So I'm not even close to being done with harvesting potatoes, and I'm already at 60 pounds. I don't know what I'm going to do with all these potatoes. Carrots. Everyone said carrots were extremely hard to grow. It was the easiest thing in the garden to grow. Sweet potatoes, white potatoes, and carrots. Carb heavy. Easy to keep. Staples. Yeah. Bonds are flying today. Yields are also falling. So correlated downside yields, bonds are climbing. So still a little bit of pricing in the upcoming moves. I've never heard that carrots were difficult. I did. One of my favorite memories when I was young was digging for potatoes with my grandmother. Yeah, the kids call it garden Minecraft. They were mining potatoes to craft French fries. So I thought that was pretty cool. They had fun. Large red candles here, NASDAQ and ES on both. When real life consumed by the digital world. Yeah. They loved it though. They had fun. Still back and forth here. Was taters precious? I don't know what that means. Hanging out 19,890 or 980. ES is still holding bottom, looking 54.55. Oil in 1 minute. All right, I'm going to switch over to Bookmap. I'll repost the links when I'm ready. Be right back.